Hey guys, so per a request, today I'm going to show you how to make your very own soap using the melt and pour method. And if you don't know what that is, the melt and pour method is you get these large blocks of glycerin. You can get clear, you can get white. You can have other soap bases like shea butter soap bases, goat's milk, and whatnot. But today we're just going to use clear glycerin and white glycerin as the soap bases to make your own soap at home. So I'm going to show you how to do the melt and pour method of making your own soaps. So what you're going to need is, of course, your soap bases, a large knife to cut your soap bases with. I like to have a little wooden stick just in case I want to mix colors or stir and make patterns. A spatula that you will not be ever using for food preparation. Any of the things that you use, like your knife, your spatula, your stick, none of this stuff should be reused with food preparation. So once you do it with soap, don't use it again for anything else. You need a plastic mold, something to melt your soap down in. I use this big measuring cup. You're going to need a spray bottle full of rubbing alcohol, because when you pour your soap out, you're going to need to spritz off the bubbles. And whatever colors you're going to use to color your soap, if you want your soap to be colored, and whatever kind of fragrances you want. You can use just a regular fragrance oil that's specifically made for soaps, or you can use extracts, which I really like to use extracts for soaps because it's really natural and it's I guess it's better overall, and you get a stronger smell that way. You can buy pre-made kits at places like Michael's, or AC Moore, depending upon what you have regionally. And you know, the kit will have a whole bunch of starter things that you'll need to make your first batch. Like you'll probably get a mold and a thing of color, and you're going to need some gloves if you're me. You could do this without gloves, but I prefer to do it with gloves because I don't want to get my hand oils on the soap, and I don't want to get soap all over my hands. So this is what we're going to do. Okay. I think we'll start with making a clear soap. You're going to lay your soap out, lay your soap base out. 4 blocks this size should make 1 bar of soap. But with these molds I think are a tad bit big, so I like to use 5. So I'm going to cut out 5 little squares. Most soap bases are pre-hatched, so you can just cut along the hatch marks. There are a few soap bases out there that aren't, and then you have to get into measurements, which is not any fun in my opinion. So yeah, don't worry about that. I say stick with this if you have the luxury to do so. Okay, so I have the 5 cut up. I'm going to stick them in here, and in the microwave they go. I'm going to put it in there for 20 seconds. It really does not take long for this to melt down. And at 20 seconds you can check and see if there's any lumps. The clear soap base melts a lot faster than the white soap base. So do the minimal amount of time to get the melting that you need. You can always put it in there a few more seconds. Let's see what we got. And that, let's see, is that lumpy? Is that a lump? No, and that is perfectly, it's totally liquidy. Okay, okay, so it has a liquidy. Let's see, we are going to make this, I'm going to make this like a peach color. I know this looks red in the bottle, but it's supposed to be a peach color. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to do 4. I'm going to try to make it a strong color. And stir that through your soap mixture really well. And see, you have it like a really light, peachy, pretty color there. And then I'm going to take my extract. Today we're making citrus scented soaps for a friend of mine who digs citrus as much as I do. So I'm pretty excited about that. So I use a little bit of lemon in the extracts, and I'm going to use a little bit of the orange in the scented oil. The orange is not a very strong scent, so I end up using quite a bit of that one. But you can tailor this to your own liking, as much as you want, as little as you want. But let me tell you this, in your soap mixture, the more liquid you put in, the longer it's going to take to harden, and the softer it will be once it is hardened. So try to be careful not to overwhelm your soap mixture with liquids, if you can so help it. And then you pour it in your mold. And once you've done that, see there's a little bubble right there. You're going to want to spritz the top of it with alcohol to get the bubbles out and let it sit. That is quite pretty, and I can smell it from here. It smells amazing. And I'm just going to fill my square mold now. Let's use this to get it out. Okay, and once again, you want to make sure to spray that with the rubbing alcohol to get out any bubbles. And I'm going to slow go it, walk this over to where I'm going to want these to dry. With the melt and pour method, it takes, for a nice firm soap, it takes about 12 hours worth of drying time. I like to leave mine between 12 and 24. But usually I have a hard time waiting because I get really excited, and I take it out about 16 hours to make a solid soap. Okay, so in about 12 to 16 hours, I'm going to pop these bad boys out, and I will take a picture of the finished product, and I will insert it at the end of this video so you can see how your wonderful soap looks. Yeah, so that's the melt and pour method. I hope you go and have fun making your own soaps. Bye guys.